I was born in Fort Worth, Texas, raised in Mosier Valley, which is one, if not the oldest, community founded by African Americans shortly after the Civil War. All the schools, parks, other public facilities were segregated. So I was transported 30 miles round trip each day from the 9th through the 12th grade to preserve segregation in public schools. I grew up in a rural area with limited income, and consequently I fed the livestock and chopped the wood before I got on the yellow school bus to make my 15-mile trip into Fort Worth for junior high and high school. I was recruited for Houston-Tillotson College and graduated in 1963. I was the first one out of my immediate family to attend college. As you may recall, we as a people elected a young president, a senator from Massachusetts, and he appointed another young leader to become his Secretary of the Interior, Stewart Udall. And Mr. Udall only been in the office 2 or 3 months. Looked at the workforce from the South Pacific from Maine, and Maine from Alaska, Alaska to the U.S. Virgin Islands, and did not see what I refer to as the face of America. So he appointed, under his direct supervision, a cadre of recruiters to go into historically black college universities. To make a long story short, in that first summer of '62, there were 4 of us from Houston-Tillotson. One of my prized possessions, which is framed and it hangs in my study at home, is the original letter that I received signed by Secretary Udall, dated April 4, 1962, confirming my appointment as a seasonal ranger in Grand Teton National Park. Coming from Texas into Colorado, before the Civil Rights Act, I knew and expected segregation in public facilities. I had not expected that in Wyoming was in fact refused service in a local restaurant, but the leadership of the Park Service apparently spoke with the business community or the business leaders in Jackson Hole, and we never had any problems subsequent to that. It so happened that I also worked in Grand Teton in '63. And of course, that's the year of the March on Washington. And there weren't many African Americans touring Teton and Yellowstone. But for those who did come through, my fellow ranger African American, and I would literally capture those African American visitors and tell us what's going on in the larger world, because the news media there in Wyoming at that time wasn't really covering in depth what was going on. And of course, we were able to tune into the March on Washington on August 28, 1963. You could think about the kind of association you have with presidents and with first ladies, with the leadership of Congress, outstanding leaders. When I was growing up there in Texas, we had outside plumbing all the way through college. And then I sort of reflect on that to know that I was the overnight guest of Lawrence Rockefeller in his house. Growing up in Texas, I had to ride in the back of the buses and what have you, and then to fly with President Clinton in Air Force One. You would be surprised by the willingness of so many to give of themselves to help you in pursuing your dream. But it takes the initiative on the part of the young people to reach out, and I would encourage that.